Yo, what's up YouTube? Back with another video, and today, as you can see, I'm going to be ranking every NFL team on a position of skill, not by how I like them, but how good I think they're going to be next season. So obviously, 32 teams, we have the S tier, the best tier. This is going to be like the best team in the league. I'll probably only put one team here, and then we have the Z tier. I had to make this tier up because I think there's one team worthy enough to be that bad. And I think you already know who it is. So honestly, I'm just going to start with the Titans, probably go in rows or columns, probably columns down vertically. So let's start with the Titans, which I think is going to be a pretty good team. And I think the Titans could be an A team tier. And they probably will be at the end of the season. But I think the A tier, is like probably Super Bowl contenders. But the S tier is just godlike Super Bowl contenders. I think you already know who's going there. I think the Titans could make the Super Bowl, but I'm going to have to put them in the B tier for now. Alright, so next we have the Dolphins. So the Dolphins, they have potential, probably 5-6 wins, which is why I put them in the D tier this season. I don't think they're F tier worthy, and definitely not Z tier. So next we got the 49ers, who are definitely an A tier team. I think they're worthy of S tier, but I think they were worthy last season, but I believe they're not going to play as good as they did in 2019. They're still going to be good, which is why I think they deserve to be in that A tier right there. And obviously, we have the Jaguars. The best team. Oh, sorry. The worst team in the NFL. I literally made a tier just for the Jaguars. 0-16. And to counter out the Jaguars, we got the Chiefs. I'll just put them up there right now. The Chiefs, I think they're the only team worthy of that S tier. And I think they're the best team in the NFL by far. There's no competition for them this season. Alright, now it gets a little juicy. We got the Cleveland Browns. A team that, their wide receivers like pooping on each other and stuff. It's kind of weird to think about. And the Browns' potential is going to be up here. Their non-potential or their floor, I guess their ceiling. Their ceiling's B tier. Their floor, though, is D tier, which is why I'm going to put them in the C tier. If that makes any sense. Kind of makes sense. We also have the Lions, who I think are just like the Browns. Their ceiling, B tier. Floor, probably F tier. But I don't think they're going to be that bad this year. C tier, definitely for the Lions. Because I think the Lions, even though they had a horrible season last year, is because of the injury of Matt Stafford. He's healthy. This team's actually going to be good. Don't underestimate the Lions. Alright, next we got the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are a good team. And they're definitely a B tier team. I don't think they're any better than B. And I don't think they're any worse than C. So I think B is perfect. Their defense, I think they lost a couple players like Xavier Rhodes, Everson Griffin, and they lost Stephon Diggs. So 3 pretty good players. Their floor is probably C tier. Their ceiling is B tier. And I think they deserve the B tier. They made the playoffs, 10-6 record. It's going to be a decent team again. So, we got the Buccaneers. They got a ceiling. Honestly, a ceiling of S. I think they could be the best team in the NFL. But at the same time, they got a floor of C. Because that defense, it's mediocre. The secondary is mediocre. The defensive line's decent. Their offense is stacked, though. Which is why they could be, equivalent to the Chiefs. Which is why it's a difficult decision. It's either A or B. They got to prove to me that they're an A tier team first, which is why I'm going to put them in the B tier right now. I believe this team could probably rise up to here week 2. Week 2, that's all it takes, 1 week. If they compete with the Saints, maybe lose by a couple points, maybe even beat them, they're definitely A tier, but let's put them right here for now. So we got the Atlanta Falcons. Oh man. Falcons fans get salty when I talk about them, and I wonder why, but Falcons ceiling, honestly, is C. Their ceiling C. Their floor, though, I want to say F, which is why I think the Falcons are a D tier team. Even though they got Todd Gurley, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, their offense ain't bad. Their secondary, it's pretty good. It's not the best, pretty good though. But their division is so hard. They're going to lose twice to the Saints, lose twice to the Buccaneers, maybe lose once to the Panthers. That's immediate 5 losses. They have the hard schedule, I believe. They play the AFC West, including the Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers. Going to lose a couple of those games. They play the NFC North, I believe, including the Vikings, Packers, Bears, Lions. They have a hard schedule. I don't think the Falcons are good enough to win those many games, which is why they're a D tier team. All right, next we have Baltimore, who went 14-2, best record in the NFL, but can't win a playoff game. Just like how Garoppolo, choked in the Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson, he chokes in the playoffs. Man, I hate to see it, but the Ravens, they're deservable of an S tier. They could be up here, but with 0 playoff wins and a horrible performance against the Titans, A tier. So, we got the Bears. The Bears have a floor of F. They have a floor of F, but they have a ceiling of B. So this team is all over the place. It depends on how they play. 8-8 last season. Mitchell Trubisky is the starter week 1 against the Lions. If he wins that game, the Bears season could be, saved by Mitchell. So we're going to have to see who wins. Which is why it's either D or C right now. And I don't really know. I want to make a tier in the middle, but for now, they're worthy of C tier. They went 8-8 with a decent defense. This team is probably going to be better. C tier for the Bears. So the Cincinnati Bengals, I think they're F tier because, I think they're only going to get like 4 wins. They have the hardest division, one of the hardest divisions in the NFL, I should say. They're not going to compete with the Browns, Steelers, or Ravens. Maybe the Browns, but it's immediate losses for them. Could go 0-6 divisional. And their schedule, it's not that bad, but, they don't have talented players yet. They do have A.J. Green, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow. It's going to be a good offense, but the Bengals, they're unproven, F tier. Now we got the Cowboys, who Cowboys fans think they're S tier. Eagles fans think they're Z tier. I think they're B tier. I don't think they're A tier because I don't think the Cowboys are even going to make the playoffs. I think the Cowboys could win their division, maybe even lose their division. They went 8-8. They only beat one team with a winning record last year. That team was the Rams. The Eagles, the other win doesn't even count. So the Cowboys B tier. They lost to the Jets last year and the Bears. The only player that they added on offense, CeeDee Lamb. Good pickup, I guess you can say. A good draft pick, I should say. Their defense, I don't know, dude. This team, it's not Super Bowl worthy. B tier. Now we got Houston, a team that could have won a playoff game against the Chiefs, and they didn't because they choked a 24-point lead. Which it just shows how bad their defense is. They lost Hopkins. Their defense is horrible, and if J.J. Watt stays healthy, it's gonna be good. But secondary trash. Texans B tier, maybe C tier. I think they're C tier actually. Because they lost Hopkins, they lost their most talented player. Imagine. So I think the Texans have a ceiling of A. They have a floor of C, but I think they're gonna start at that C tier. They could rise up. I think they will, but we're gonna have to see. So next, we got the Colts. The C tier team. I don't think they're better than the Titans, who are B, which is why I have them as C. And they're division rivals, so that statement makes sense. I think the Colts, they have a ceiling of A, and they have a floor of F, C tier. Rams, they have, a good team, good players, good coaches. They went 9-7 last year, and everyone thinks they're horrible. C tier. Debatably B tier, but C tier makes more sense because I don't think they're better than the Colts or debatably the Texans, but they could easily beat both of those teams. And the Colts and Texans could easily beat the Rams, which is why C is fair. So next we have the Chargers, who I think are worthy of that F tier. I think, I don't think they're going to be good. Tyrod Taylor could win a couple games. He's actually a good quarterback. But Justin Herbert, kind of a troll pick. Don't like him. Get rid of the Chargers' hopes. Horrible team. You already know. Their best player, Derwin James, he's out. GG. Alright, next we have the Saints. Saints, debatably S tier. Debatably. But I'm not going to say the Saints are better than the Ravens and the 49ers. And I can safely say the Chiefs are the best team in football, which is why I have the Saints at A tier. All three of these teams I expect to have similar records. It's going to be a common factor next season. So, New York Giants, I think their defense is the worst. Probably the 28th best offense. 28th best defense in the league. But their offense is actually pretty good. Which is why D tier is worthy. They're not better than any of these teams in C tier, and they can compete with the D tier teams. So next we have the Eagles, B tier. Kind of common sense. Yeah, that makes sense. They're equivalent with the Cowboys. They can compete with all of these teams right here. If the Eagles were to play the Saints, 49ers, Ravens, which actually they do play all of those teams this year, I believe the Eagles lose all three of those games. And I put money on that, which is why I think they're B tier worthy. But the Eagles play the Browns. They'll probably win that game. They play the NFC West. I don't have any other NFC West teams up besides the Rams. I think they'll beat the Rams. B tier is fair. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to put them at B tier, but dude, I got that gut feeling they're going to be competing with these teams. Maybe they lose to Tennessee. Maybe they lose to Dallas, which is actually why I'll put them in the B tier right now. I think Pittsburgh has a ceiling of S because their defense is incredible. Big Ben's back. They have a floor of D because actually C. They have a floor C just because if Ben's injured, it's over. B plus, A minus. I'll put them in B for now. Next, we have the Broncos, who I thought were going to be a very good team. Probably a playoff contender. Their offense is new, it's young, and it's talented, but you already know the bad news for Broncos fans. Von Miller is out for the season. He's going under surgery today. C tier. Their defense is gonna look worse without Von Miller. It's kind of sucks for them. They do have a decent secondary though. Justin Simmons, AJ Boye, and Bradley Chubb is a good linebacker. C tier for now. Floor of D tier, ceiling of B. Next we have the Packers. No, I don't really like the Packers, but I'll put them in B tier. I only say this because they went 13-3 in 2019. 13-3. And I'm putting them in the B tier because their schedule was so easy that they won all those games. They were basically free wins. And they could not compete against the 49ers twice last year. They lost embarrassingly both times, which is why I'm going to put them in the B tier for now. I think the Packers are going to decline in wins, maybe get 11 wins, maybe 10, because their schedule was so easy last year. It doesn't even matter. Next, we have the Panthers F tier. I only say this because their defense is horrible. They have a talented offense, just like the Giants. And debatably, the Giants deserve this spot right here, and actually they do. So let me just move that. I think the Panthers and Giants are basically the same exact team. Very talented running back. I guess you could say underrated quarterback. Wide receivers are underrated and very good. But both of those defenses are trash. F tier worthy. So next we have the Raiders. And this is a very hard pick because the Raiders have potential of C. They have potential of B. But they haven't played like they have they have the potential of it. And they honestly played like a C tier team last year, and I think they'll repeat in those ways once again. So next we have the Redskins. Just let me put them in the F tier. They had the second worst record in the league last year. Their offense is horrible. Chase Young, draft pick, very good. Defense going to look better. But their schedule is very hard. They might even have like one win. Because their schedule, they play, of course, their division. Eagles twice, Cowboys twice, whatever. But they play the AFC North and the NFC West. The two hardest divisions, in my opinion. It's over. So next we have the Cardinals, who have a ceiling of A. Have a floor of D. C tier. I think the Cardinals will raise up to that B tier late season, maybe middle. But C tier for now is fair. Maybe even better than the C tier. We're going to have to see what happens. So next we have the B tier. The Bills. And it's kind of obvious. I'm going to put them in here. I don't think they're better than the Saints, 49ers, Ravens. I don't think they're worse than any of these teams. Bills, B tier, kind of common sense. Seahawks. It's a good question. Because the Seahawks were 1 inch away from beating the 49ers for the division last year. Only if that dude could score a touchdown. It was inches away. 49ers tackled the guy on the 1 yard line. If that guy scored a touchdown, Seahawks would have actually beat the 49ers for the best record in the NFC West. And the Seahawks got Jamal Adams. Seahawks A tier. Jets. D tier. I'm going to say D tier. I don't think they're worse than any of these teams. Obviously, their team's not bad, but players opted out. Players got traded. Jamal Adams. Le'Veon Bell is underperforming. D tier. And the last team, the Patriots. I want to put the Patriots in B or C because they have Bill Belichick, the best coach in the league. And they lost Tom Brady, but they got Cam Newton. All their players on defense, notable players I should say, opted out. Still Stephon Gilmore, C tier. I think the Patriots, they lost a lot of players. They're basically a new team. It kind of sucks for them. C tier for now. So that is it. S tier, Chiefs, A tier, all of these. B tier, C, D, F. And the worst team in the league, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So comment down below what you think of my tier list. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Adios.